Okay, let's move. Class is going well today. Today we are discussing, and we're actually doing a very basic prototype for three screens or two, three or two. Okay, you know what? Let's go with two. Let's go with two. Let's go with two screens. All right. First screen is the WhatsApp. Let me tell you the WhatsApp splash screen. Let me start with that one. What's this version? Okay, so what's a splash screen? I'm going to start with that one. So what exactly is a splash screen? You see, when you launch an app, that first screen that you see, that first screen is your splash screen. Usually, what it contains is the logo of the software. Yeah, yeah, I'll comment on your assignments. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I will. I've not just had the time. You know, I think I just came back from Scotland. It's not really been easy for me to tune back to the Nigerian system. I'm trying my best to understand. So back to splash screen. So that first page, you can see here the WhatsApp splash screen. You can see it contains just the WhatsApp logo. Now, some of you might not notice it, but when you start the WhatsApp app from scratch, like you uninstall it and you install it again, you have the splash screen open up for you. Likewise, Facebook. If I come here, I'm just using the most popular examples because I don't want to mention apps that you will have to go and install. You understand? That is why I'm just mentioning the popular ones. You can see Twitter as well, Facebook, Skype, splash screen, right? So, what is a splash screen? I just explained it. It's usually the first screen that you see on your design, on your application, rather. So, I'm just going to call this WhatsApp design. Step number one, I'm going to create a frame. I'm sure all of you know how to do this. F on your keyboard. I'm going to create a frame here, iPhone 14 Pro Max. No, 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 no. I'm not going to use the 14 Pro Max. No. I'm going to use the iPhone 13 mini. That's the one I'm going to use. But why am I using the iPhone 13 mini? Most developers are convenient with developing on this screen size because it is one of the smallest screen size that is easy to blend with all the other screen sizes. So the iPhone 13 mini is one of the preferred screens for designing. Let me show you something here. If you look at this, for example, this is a UI design, and I don't think I put that. This is the only product that I have on the screen. This is actually an official project for. This is a software for a company in Dubai, but I'm not supposed to show much of it because of some NDAs that I signed. But I'm just trying to show you what we are trying to achieve. Prototypes like this, where the application is going to perform certain actions like an actual app. You understand? So I'm just going to tell this one to scroll vertically so that I can do this. So this is what I'm trying to do with you today, something like this. So basically that's it. So let me go back here. Because I'm not supposed to show you that that's an official project. You feel me? Thank you. Alright, so let's move. The first screen is called your splash screen. I'm going to name this one here splash screen. Right? So it's splash screen. Now what does a WhatsApp splash screen look like? Let me go and check. I'm just going to come back here and type WhatsApp. So I see it's usually white and then you have the logo inside. But this one here is green. So which one am I going to go for? I'm going to go for the white. White seems to be neater. So here I'm just going to go for WhatsApp logo because I need a WhatsApp logo, right? So this is what you're going for. Please, please, I beg you, use the same measurements that I'm using. If I'm using 13 mini for my frame, use 13 mini for your frame. Okay. Now I'm going to get the logo here. So let's say I'm going to go for this logo here. Oh no, let me see the final. Okay. So let's go for this one here. I'm going to go for this logo here. I'm trying to see if it's going to get clearer because it's not okay. Nice, it's clearer. So right click on it. I'm going to click on copy image. because I don't need to remove the background. You can see the background is already off. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste it. Hope that background is off really. Okay, yes. I'm going to resize the logo now from I don't want to drag it from here. See, if I just drag it, you see it's beginning to distort the image. What I mean is it's no longer looking like what it should be. It's not looking like what has been tampered with. Now if you want to resize an image without tampering the edges, you hold shift while you drag from here. So let's say you want to drag from here, this bottom right here, you hold shift on your keyboard, then you drag. This makes it very easy to resize. But I want to resize from here. I remember that maybe day one or day two, I told you about constraint proportions, where I said that when you select these constraint proportions here, whatever size you apply to the width, the height will automatically adjust to meet it. So if I come here and do 200, the height is telling me 201.05 because that is the best size for this guy. You understand? So let's say I'm working with 200. If I drag this into the picture here, it's looking like an app that my village people are actually designing because the logo should not be this big. So I'm going to come back here, making sure that constraint proportions is turned on. I'm going to come here and click on, let's say, 50. And that's more like it. Now, look at what I'm going to do now. Just follow me. You need to make sure that the logo is inside your screen based on the layers here. Remember, I told you about the bucket instance where we talked about how something can be inside your bucket or out of your bucket. For example, now the logo is outside the bucket of the splash screen. So the splash screen can move on its own without the logo. You see that? But if I put the logo back into the splash screen here, I just have it here. You see that if I take the splash screen on its own, it moves with the logo. So it has to be inside of the bucket. It has to be inside the bucket. You understand? Now, I want to tell you something officially because it seems that maybe I've not said this before. This logo here is definitely not at the center of my splash screen, but I want you to be there. Look at the top right options here. I hope you are listening more than you are working. I hope you're not designing as I'm designing. I hope you're listening because the video is available to you and you can always go through it. But it's best you listen so that you can have so that you can grab it before you design it. You understand? So when you come over here, these are alignment options. This is not auto layout though. If for example I put this guy in auto layout, you will see auto layout alignment options here. You see auto layout is there. I'm going to remove it because we are not using auto layout right now. So what I want you to do is this. Having selected the object that you want to automatically center to the center of your screen, just come here and click on this one here which says align horizontal center. So when you do that, it is going to align this image to the center of the screen horizontally, which is left to right. Sorry, hold on, let me just admit Ezekiel. So when I click on this, it will align it left to right. That is horizontal. Horizontal is left to right. Right? Let me just make this let's say red. Increase the size. So horizontal is left to right, and vertical is up to down. So it's like it's now that they are actually seeing the link. Okay, let's move. Horizontal is left to right, and then vertical is up to down. So let me just draw them there so that I can always reference them. Because I'll be honest with you, even me sometimes I forget which is vertical, which is horizontal. But with this, I'm not sure. I'm sure that nobody's going to forget it. So vertical is this one here, blue up to down. Horizontal is left to right. So back to the screen. So now imagine that this image is somewhere around here. Let's keep it here. But we want this image to sit at the center of this screen automatically. knowing fully well that it is inside the bucket of the splash screen, it is inside of the splash screen itself. Just come here and click on align horizontal centers. When I click on it, watch what's going to happen. This guy is going to align center horizontally. So you see that, boom, it's just like that. Now we want it to align to the center vertically, so we go here and look for align vertical centers, and when I click on it, boom, it goes to the center. This is the center of my splash screen, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that that's actually sank. Is it sank? Yeah, I think yeah. I hope that's sunk. Good. The next thing I want to do is apply corner radius to the screen, which all of you know how to do. But please use the exact measurements that I'm using. My screen size is iPhone 13 mini. I'm going to type it here because I don't want us to have submissions where some people are using a different screen size, some people are using different measurements for certain things. I don't really enjoy it when I see different measurements. You understand? So iPhone 13 mini, then WhatsApp logo is 50 by 50 by what now? Let's see, 50 by 50.26. 50 by 50.26. You know where I got it from? It's from here, 50 by 50.26. You need to make sure that constraint proportions is turned on so that you can automatically adjust them. But if you're going to come here and just type it, you have to turn the constraint proportions off so that it doesn't align itself automatically. You put in your digits by yourself. You understand? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add corner radius to my frame. Radius. What am I spelling? Okay, corner radius to my frame. Good. The size of corner radius I'm going to put 32 to the people 32 pixels. So let's go there. So we click on it, then we come here and then we go for 32. Fine. That's not all. So ladies and gentlemen, we are doing one more thing. We are going to go to a website called, let me admit this person. Like I told you guys, I said that this your class is not just this your class is not just the usual kind of class. I am taking you at a stretch, like I am stressing you. I am giving you a lot at once. That is why I'm making sure that I am actually giving you the guidelines as well and checking your assignments. You're going to go to a website called Feed Components. I think it's feedcomponents.com. So let me confirm that. Let me go to feedcomponents.com. Now, when you go to feedcomponents.com, I will tell you why you're here. You're not here for everything, you're here for one single thing. So just come here, you pick this single thing that you're here for, and you leave. So, what exactly is this single thing that you're here for? Just come over here when you enter the feedcomponents.com and just let me copy it and paste in the chat session here. Okay, let me zoom my text for 1 second for you. Just hold on, so that you can. I don't know. Maybe you want to take a screenshot. I will definitely send everything to you later on. So feedcomponents.com is the website. What are you doing here? Go to iPhone. I think either iPhone or iOS. But let's start from iPhone. So when you go to iPhone, you're looking for this is what you're looking for. Let me show you here. You see this time here and this network bar, this top bar. This is what you're looking for. But I don't want to take from my design. I want to show you how you can just get it. You understand? So okay, look at this for example. You see this guy has it. Now what you want to do is come here, click on copy to clipboard. So when you click on copy to clipboard, you wait for it to copy. So when it's done copying, of course you're going to know that okay, it's done copying. So let's just wait for this guy to finish copying. It's taking a lot of time. I don't know why. Good. So it has copied. So what's the next thing that I'm going to do? I'm going to come over here to the file that I'm working on, and I'm going to paste it. Control V. No, sorry, I think I pasted the wrong thing. Let me go back and confirm that that actually. Sometimes the website misbehaves, so maybe I'll just look for something else. Another one. Let me copy this one in, because that one actually took a lot of time. So let me use this one. So I've copied it. I come here. Let me just right click and paste here, and you have this screen. Very fine. It's very nice, but we are going to do more with feed components, etc. when we get to that level, probably by day 6. But for today's class, what you're going to do for me is come here to this top bar, this one here called the native status bar, and just Control C. Then come to your splash screen and just Control V. You see that the screen size from here is the same 13 minute that we are using here. So why is it not 14? Why is it not 14 Pro Max? Because this is what developers would work best with, and this is the best screen size to design with for mobile applications. So by the time you've copied that guy, you can just, yeah, one more thing, you can just come here and take this one as well, copy this bottom one, then you can delete this. You don't need it anymore. So I'll just paste this here. So you get that. So when you go to figcomponents.com, I'm writing the steps down here. So after figcomponents.com, copy a design with the native status bar, then paste it in Figma, then copy what you need. I'm just going to say copy what you need, but you know what you need. Don't go and copy what you don't need. Just pick only the things that I've told you to take. Yeah. We'll come back to all of these extra things later. So you can see that my design is going to look like an actual phone, like an actual splash screen. So the next thing you want to do is, you know how I'm doing what I'm doing here, right? If you don't know how I'm doing this, I'm going to type it here. So to duplicate, use Control D or Control C to copy, and Control V to paste, or hold alternate and left click and drag. So what I did here basically is I held alternate, left click, drag. So on the second screen here, I'm just going to, what am I going to do? I'm going to remove the logo because I no longer need the logo on my second screen. So what is my second screen going to be this time? Because what we are trying to do is something simple, right? We're not doing something that is complex. We don't want something that is actually complex. Okay, so yes, I'm sure you can see my screen. So this is to duplicate and good. The next screen is going to be, I'm going to call this the chat screen. Now the chat screen is that screen where you're going to see scroll chat and etc etc. So I'm just going to come here and say WhatsApp chat screen, and let me see what we have over here. I'm going to go to images. So let's just see, it's loading. So let's just wait for it to load. Mhm. So this is something like what I'm looking for. Let me check for one we can just reference. This is iOS strictly. Wait, let's make do with this. Let me first of all copy this image and see if we can just reference this particular one. Clear at all. Clear at all. Let me go and look for something else. Mm, okay, you know what? Let's go straight to the page that owns this picture. It's clearer there. So I'm sure it's on Dribble. So let's just get it from there. Good. It's just good to know things in this life. If you know things, you are sorted out. All right. So let's just paste it in here and let's reference it. So that means you'll be referencing the same picture as well for your chat session. This is light mode. This is dark mode, but we are going to focus on the light mode only. Now, this is what it's iOS users will see, right? Yes. So now we want to design this, right? So we want to design this. So let's start from. Let me bring my chat screen down so I can put them side by side. So our time is 9:41. Theirs is 9:42. So here we have edit chart, search bar, broadcast list, new group. Then you have all of these guys here. Auto layout is widely used here. All right, auto layout is widely used here. So I'm going to start with one very important thing that you learned in the last class, which is layer grids. So I'm going to come here and include four columns on my layer grid and do a margin of 10. Then I'm going to change the color to something around this. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to confirm that I'm still connected because it rained heavily, so I'm sure that network is dancing with our own shoes. But let's keep pushing. Okay, so layer grid 4 as usual. I enjoy using 4. It's very recommended. So here we have edit, we have charts. I'm thinking if we should do the Android instead because but this is simpler, sha. Okay, T for text, right? So here we're going to start. We're going to type what edit. So I just typed edit there. You can see it. I just made it bold. But the edit is blue in color. So I'm just going to come here and let me try to get the blue myself. Or I can just come here, click on this thing that looks like what ladies rub on their lips. This eye pencil or something. This is called eyedropper, anyways. But just for the sake of remembrance, you can call it eye pencil. So you can just come here and click on it. If I click on it, I have the ability to take any color on my screen, on Figma rather. So I could just come here, try to zoom into this guy and just pick one of the blues. If you look at the right here, this circle here shows you the color that you're selecting. So if I'm selecting this, you can see somewhere around there, I could just pick this one here. So I have the color selected already and this is it here. So I'm just going to drag edit into this place. Okay. So now that I've dragged edit into this place, I want to do something with you guys. If you look here closely at the picture, you will see that they made use of layout grid. That is why all of these guys are aligned. You can see the alignment. That is what we are trying to achieve with the subject of layout grid, that alignment. So I'm just going to come here and say, okay, first of all, what font is this? My font is Inter, but the font for iOS devices is not actually Inter. Should I take this now or in another class? You know what? Let's take it now. I trust that everybody here can handle it. So after you duplicate, so you're just going to go, let me say, reference the picture for the chat screen, which is this picture, right? Then you have create layout grid for mobile, right? Which is what we have here. Now, the next thing you're going to do here is install install what? iPhone, or let's say iOS. Install iOS fonts. This is going to be huge. Install iOS fonts. I'm going to make it let me make it green so it's highlighted. And after installing iOS fonts, the next thing we're going to do is, like I told you, today is going to be taxing. Next thing we're going to do is install plugins. What plugins are you installing? So let me zoom in, please. I know that some of you might not be seeing it. So what plugin are you installing? Iconify. Iconify is the first plugin you're installing, and I think that's the only plugin that you install for today's class. Now, how to install the iOS fonts? Good. So I'm going to type it here. Go to dafont.com. Oh no, 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 not that font. Let me say go to Google and search for iOS fonts. Giving you the basic instructions that you would do even if you were alone, even if you are not being taught in a class like this. Just that ability to think for yourself and research. Search for iOS, what am I saying? iOS fonts rather, downloads, right? Now, let me assume that you've downloaded it. So after that, go to, no, I'm going to say go and download Figma font installer if you use Figma on your desktop and not the software. Of course, I'm explaining everything and I'm doing it with you. Now, what is iOS font? You see that I told you the last time we talked about carbon design system, right? Where we talked about Google Material Design System as well. We said that Google Material basically is what Google has assigned to Android devices. So Android devices come with Google Material standard all through. Now iOS has its own standards. iOS has its own standards, and that's why iOS has its own fonts. So if I come to Google here and I type iOS fonts, let's see. So what are the iOS fonts that are available? Sorry, 1 second. Let me accept. So I thought I saw someone here. Okay. So what are the iOS fonts that are actually available? So let's go for these fonts, which I will list the exact one that I am going to install. So let's go to this link here saying developer.app.com system fonts. Let's click on it and see the fonts that are available for iOS devices. I know them, but I don't want to cook things out of the blue. If there's one thing that I've learned teaching people is that when you cannot solve the plus and minus of how the result was achieved, telling you the result is just worthless. Because I did not teach you, I only showed you the result. So what I'm trying to pass to you is the ability to research for yourself. You understand? Now my is taking a lot of time to load, but it should load. So let's see the font that we are going to be making use for this particular guide. There's a particular one I'm looking for. All of these are fonts that that are available within the iOS models, but let's look for. If it's not there, I'll search for it. If it's not there, I'll search for it. Let me see. There's a search bar here. I want to see. Okay, great. So basically, their UI permits a search bar, so I'll just search for it instead. So searching for it, I'm going to search for SF Pro. That's the name of the font that I want to use. So it's called SF Pro. No items match your query. These people are not updated, perhaps. So I'm just going to go straight to Google and say SF Pro download. Usually, this is the font for iOS devices. You can see it's there again. Or maybe I was even on the wrong link. So I'm just going to go from here and let's see. So SF Pro download. So I'm going to go back to our link here and type it. Go to Google, search for, I'm going to replace iOS fonts with SF Pro download. Then I'm going to say click on first link. I'm giving you everything so that you do it exactly, the way it is there. So click on first link, then download SF Pro. So it's going to download. This is 121 MB. No, 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 no. That's too expensive. They are giving me the entire bundle. No, let's not go with that. Let's go with the um. I want the one that is cheaper. I know go send una to go use 100 and something MB download fonts now. It's plenty. Okay, so let's go for this one here. So download fonts for PC or Mac. So let me see how much that one is. Yeah, okay, so this is better. 883 kobo. So that's much better. So I'm going to come back here and say, um, click on second link. I hope it's the second link you see. And if it's not it, I'm going to take the link and just paste it in here. I'm doing this so that nobody misses out on anything at all. You understand? At all. So click on download. So download the font. You should know how to do that. Now, after you've downloaded the font, this is what it's going to look like on your browser. Um, Let me accept couple persons. Good. So after you've downloaded the font, this is what it's going to look like on your browser. Obviously, this is a zip file. If you don't know what a zip file is, a zip file is just like um, is a group of files within a zipped folder, just to make it lighter sometimes, or just to put everything in one. It's like a folder, but it's zipped. Now that's not my field, but basically that's the best I can tell you about zip folders. What you want to do is come here, click here, show in folder, or just open it. You can just open it. But before you do that, the next instruction here after downloading the font is go and download Figma font installer. So I'm just going to change the color for Figma font installer to emphasize on it a bit. I just really hope that this is not too much. Please drop a comment in the section chat box. Let me know if this is too much. Am I going too fast? I'm actually talking to those that have been here since the first minute. Oh. If you're just joining, I can't assure you that you understand what I'm saying, but I will always do a recap and then the video is there. And I'm writing down everything step by step for you as well. So drop a comment. Let me know, those of you that have been here, let me know if you are following. Okay, okay. Digela says I'm not going too fast. Okay, that's nice to know. So others, are you following me? Okay, okay. Are you following? Okay, fine, fine. That's three people. I need like two more persons to confirm that I am not too fast. Okay, you like Okay, fine, great. Okay, so let's go back to this because a lot of people need to sleep on time, you understand, for tomorrow. So, after you've downloaded the fonts from this link, which I'm going to send to you, you can just basically type it on your browser. Go and download Figma Font Installer. So, I'm just going to come to Google and type Figma Font Installer. Now, I want to click on this link here for Figma downloads. You know what? I'm going to still copy it for you guys. So I'm just going to copy it. So go and download the Figma font installer. So here I'll put the link in brackets. Exactly. Just so that you don't have to think so much or even research. But the instruction is if you use Figma on your desktop like me, if you always go to figma.com, you need to go and download this. But if you're using the Figma app on the Figma software on your laptops, then you don't need to download the installer. So what exactly is the installer? This is it here, font installer. You cannot install a font without the font installer on Figma. What do I mean? If I go to my fonts here, for example, and search for SF, you will see SF because I've installed it before. If you do it on your Figma, you will never see SF until you install it. You won't even see a vertical until you install it. You have to first of all install the font. So, how do you install the font? The font installer rather. Come here, if you are using Mac OS, if you are among the big gang that use the 2020 MacBooks, the 2016, 2012, 2011, 2009, 2006, 2001 MacBooks, use the Mac OS installer. Now, if you are among those like us who use the first gen, second gen, third gen, fourth gen of laptops up to the 10th gen, 11th gen, 20 something gen, and then sabi, use the Windows installer. But look at the caution here. It says that the desktop app does not require the font installer. So I'm going to click on the Windows installer here. Now, when I click on it, it begins to run, and then it gives me the I clicked on it twice. It's about 2.1 MB. It is cheap. So then I just wait for it to install. We might cancel one. Okay, great. So it's installing. Then I'm just going to wait for it to finish downloading rather. Now, after it's done downloading, I'm just going to double click on it. So it's done now. I can double click on it. I have double clicked on it. So I'm just going to wait for the I'm going to do that again. So I'm just going to wait for it to load and give me the prompt. So this is what it's going to show you. Figma agent setup installation folder, right? Let me go back to the screen. So Figma agent setup installation folder, your business is with install. So you click on install and then boom, it has installed, completed. That is all. So what you need to do next is, let me come back here. So after you've downloaded the font installer, open the font file and click on install to install the font. So let me just increase this a bit. Open the font file. What is the font file? This is it here. This one here that we actually downloaded the SF Pro. So I'm going to click on it. It's going to open, and lo and behold, bless my wing, I don't expire. Anyways, lo and behold, these are the font types that are available. Click on the first one, open it. When it opens, click on install. I already have them. That's why it's telling me to replace. Now you're going to do that for all of them. And when you're done with that, let me go back to our instructions. So when you're done installing the fonts, reload your design. So when you're done installing the font, you just come here and you reload your design. If you don't reload the design, you come here and search for it, you won't see the font. You're not going to see the font at all. So you just have to um, come here and just reload the design. So let's wait for it to load to just take a couple seconds. Let's just wait for it to let me go press reload. Oh. Okay, it's taking longer than expected, but I'm going to do it again. Probably it's just network. Rain fell, rain was too heavy in my side. I cannot begin to imagine what is going on in Lagos right now because whenever rain falls, there's calamity. I'm not going to explain the extent of the calamity, but of course, We know that there's calamity. Whatever you're thinking is your business, but please focus on design. Just focus on design. Good. So maybe it is all these calamities that are making my internet so slow. I really don't know, but I know that I must blame somebody somewhere. But let's just wait for it to load. So I've not pressed this reload though. I'm just trying to prove, show you what how it's doing done step by step, and I just find it quite necessary. You understand? So while that guy is reloading, I'm just going to try to bypass it by going back to Figma.com. Let me see if this is going to be faster than coming back through there. Okay, we are being told that our call will soon end, but that's not a problem. 10 minutes to go. Okay, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. I just want this guy to load. I want us to just finish the process, the simple part before we can get into the hard part. We still have like let's say maybe 30 minutes of class to go. Maybe 30, 40 minutes of class to go. You understand? So okay, it's loading now. Okay, that's great. So I'm going to cancel this one. Alright, so let's move in there. So reload your design. I hope it doesn't take as much time as my mine did. It's not going to take because by then calamities will not be happening in Lagos. So after reloading your design, then you can use your fonts and use your font to make texts, right? Texts. So let's go back there. So on the chat screen here, um, okay, let's just keep moving. So on the chat screen here, I'll just click on edit, come here and put SF Pro display, and looking at this one here, it looks somewhere around medium is fine. The font size I think is about 16. I just want to make sure I push it to where my layout grid here. But this is one thing I want all of you to do for me. You're going to make use of rulers. How to get your rulers, we've talked about this before. Click here, come to view and make sure rulers is turned on. Then when you do that, you just come over to this place and just click and drag. So I want the rulers to mark my layout grids for me because I might be turning off my layout grids time to time. You understand? So that's it there. So that's great. So let me put that in the instruction too, because I really want you guys to do everything. So use rulers to mark layout grids. Good. So the next thing I want you to do is what's that? Charts. I'm just gonna come here, duplicate it. Then here I'm gonna type charts. But obviously it's bigger than this one. So I'm gonna come here and do like let's say 32. And from medium I'm going to go bold. And the color here I'm going to use let's say somewhere around this color, hexadecimal code 141414. So I'm going to put the code here as well. So black color, this is so that everybody knows exactly what I'm doing. Then blue color, we might not finish this thing today, but let's see sha. The blue color is 4A7ABE. So let's put that in here. Blue color 4A7. Okay, yeah. So let's put that in there. So just come here. Look at this. There's something wrong here. My charts, the space that is occupying is less than the amount of space that the text itself is occupying. So I need to just adjust this. This is because I copied the text from that edit. I just hope the edit doesn't have the same problem. Okay, it doesn't. So charts. So what I want to do is just carry the charts and come and keep the charts here. So now, what is the distance between the chart and the edit? I've told you guys how to check for distance, but I'm going to repeat it again, and um, I'll repeat it again. Then I think we should stop here. The reason I think we should stop here is I'll give you two reasons. One, a lot of people are not online, and This is deep. I am Wakama, Mrs. Wakama, Elizabeth. I still use SF phones. I still use SF phones, but if you watch the video again, it's about 45 minutes long now. You will understand that better. So I think we should stop here so that by Friday we start from here. I will send this video so everybody can watch it and maybe try to follow the steps. Don't There is no assignment today. I just want you to read because this is deep and I don't want to take you guys and leave the others because they might not get it if they are not in. You see how patient I sound. Like I told you, I just came back from where did I come back from? Scotland. I came back from Scotland, so I'm very patient today because this is deep. So let's stop the class here and then we will continue on Friday. Does that work for everybody? Drop a comment if it works for you in the chat section. I can see the thumbs up. That's nice. So, okay, you guys want the video and not the link. I can send the video. It's just it might be a bit expensive. You can get like maybe 150 MB, might be 200 MB, but I'll send it regardless. When I get it, not a problem at all. So this is what we're going to do. I will send the video. Let's prepare for Friday so that we can take this with everybody because this is plenty. Okay, this is plenty. I can send both the link and the video. I will first check if the video is too expensive. Of course, I will send the link. But anyhow, I will let you guys know in the chat section. So let's stop the class here. If you have any questions, please just write it down, not in the comment section. We can't take questions today. Let's take it when we go through the whole thing together. Do you understand? So just keep your questions down and we'll consider your questions by day 5. I think day 5. You've learned a lot so far. I don't want to give you too much to chew and then others will be coming from behind you, understand? So good night guys. Make sure you sleep fine. Rain fell in almost every state in Nigeria. Have a very good night rest. We continue by Friday and thank you for your time. So let's call it by here. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I see all the things going up and down. So you can start leaving. You're welcome. Thank you for joining despite the issues that we had to connect. But I assure you that by Friday, we can finish all of this, carrying everybody along. I will be slow and patient to make sure you understand all the basics. You understand? So, all questions, you can keep them, just store your questions for Friday. Thank you so much for being in attendance. Thank you for coming back. Um, that'll be all for now. So, I'm going to close the chat now. I'm going to close Google Meet now so that we can all go to sleep, go to party, do all the things you need to do in the cold weather as human beings, such as resting properly. Thank you so much. We continue by Friday. All right. All these people raising hand, I know they see one until Friday. Oh. Wait, let me see something. What? Damn it, Doro. Um, if it's a question, you can't take any questions today. You understand? It just has to be on Friday. So you can just write it down and we'll discuss it on Friday. All questions by Friday. Okay? Alright guys, so I'm ending the call now so that I can actually get you guys very